Evaluate. Let's say that you're given this problem as x approaches 7 for the absolute value of x minus 7 divided by x squared minus 49, and they want us to take the limit as x approaches 7 for it. To solve this problem, the first thing you need to do is to find the positive limit of the limit first. So you take the limit as x approaches positive 7th. As for the numerator, the absolute value of x minus 7 becomes x minus 7, because whatever absolute value you take from this particular given expression, it will be positive x minus 7. As for the denominator, it can be factored out into x minus 7 times x plus 7. Once you have that, you have to notice that this numerator's x minus 7 can cancel with the denominator's x minus 7. So you're left with 1 divided by x plus 7. Now that you factor out and simplify it into this form, you can plug in the 7 for it. And as you take the limit as x approaches positive 7th, it's the same thing as saying on the right side of the coordinate system, you're approaching 7 on the right side. So you just plug in the 7 for the x right here, because the limit as it approaches 7 on the positive indicates that it's going to the 7 on the right hand side. So you actually can just plug in the 7 for it and solve for it. So for this particular positive limit 7, it will become 1 divided by 14. Now that you find the limit for the positive 7, the next thing you need to do is to find the limit for the 7, but it's on the left side. So you write it like this. Take the limit as x approaches 7 negatively. So this is the factor out form from the given expression. And notice that this one right here can cancel with this one. So it will become, so this one cancel and this one cancel, so it will become negative 1 divided by x plus 7. Notice that if you were given x squared minus 49 with an absolute value, and when you factor out, it would be like this. But you need to put a negative for this x minus 7, and then times for this one you need to put the absolute value bar, and inside the absolute value bar you need to put this parentheses in this kind of order, like negative and then parentheses and then times and then absolute value with this parentheses inside, if you were able to factor out like this. But since we are given only in a x minus 7, because you're taking the absolute value of x minus 7, so it will become x minus 7. So you only need to put a negative right here. But if you were given like this way, you need to put in this kind of format. It will be easier to solve algebraically if you put it like this. But since the given is only in an x minus 7, you just put a negative. You don't need to put the absolute value bar. So this one and this one cancel, so it will become negative 1 divided by x plus 7. And you plug in the 7 for the x right here, because as you take the limit as x approaches 7 negatively, that means it's on the left hand side approaching toward the 7. And it's very close to the 7, so that means you can just plug in the 7 for the x right here and solve for it, and it will become negative 1 divided by 14. So since you take the limit for the positive 7 and the answer is 1 divided by 14, and as you take the limit for x as x approaches 7 negatively, and the answer is negative 1 divided by 4 divided by negative 1 divided by 14, so the given expression does not exist.